We begin this morning in Ottawa, where after a tumultuous week, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to make a significant cabinet shuffle.
Mr. Smith, have you been approached to take on the housing file by the Prime Minister?
I got to figure that out.
Sources tell CTV News that Toronto MP Nate Erskine-Smith will become the new housing minister, replacing outgoing Atlantic MP Sean Fraser. Sources also say Ottawa area MP David McGuinty is being tapped as public safety minister. Other new faces will include Quebec MP Rachel Bendayan, Nova Scotia MP Darren Fisher, and Winnipeg's Terry Duguid. 9 cabinet ministers have either stepped down or have decided not to run since last summer. But Chrystia Freeland is staying in caucus despite her bombshell resignation. And CTV's Jeremie Charron is standing by outside Rideau Hall with more on this. Quite the day, Jeremy. What's the latest?
Yeah, Roger, quite the day. I mean, there are some things we know so far, as you just pointed out, and Nate Erskine-Smith will get a new portfolio or become housing minister. David McGuinty is going to come on, as well as some fresh faces. A lot of fresh faces are going to be part of this cabinet shuffle. We'll see some backbenchers make their first appearance in Justin Trudeau's cabinet in what is, looking like an attempt to really change his perception, change his inner circle. And when you look at the changes that are being made here, you look at someone like Nate Erskine-Smith, who is not always seen eye to eye with the Prime Minister, someone who has actually, had significant differences of opinion with the Prime Minister and publicly said so. He's someone who doesn't shy away from, expressing how he feels, regardless of whether that aligns with the Prime Minister's office. And so it'll be interesting to see what kind of an impact this actually has. As the big question looms, Roger, what comes next? This is going to be a significant, a sizable shuffle, if you will. We're going to see, portfolios shuffled around, as we've been touching on, for a few days now. There are multiple ministers right now that have multiple significant portfolios. That is expected to change. And there are a number of ministers that have announced they're not seeking re-election. That means they will be shuffled out, and in will come some of those new faces we've been talking about. But the big question looms, what does this mean for the future of the Prime Minister and his future as leader of the Liberal Party? Will he resign at some point in the next few weeks? Will he, buckle down and decide to, stay the course and remain steadfast like he has continued to say he will, and go head to head with Pierre Poilievre in the next election? Those are the big questions that everyone is continuing to kind of look at, and nobody knows the answer to that. It's still unclear. It seems unlikely that the Prime Minister is going to take questions from the media today. So we will hear likely from the new ministers coming in, the ministers that are being shuffled. We will hear from many of them today. But at this point, it's looking unlikely we'll hear from the Prime Minister or be able to ask him any questions. We have yet to hear from him since everything that unfolded Monday, when Chrystia Freeland resigned from her role as Deputy Prime Minister as well as a Finance Minister, dropping this bomb on the day that the fall economic statement was set to be tabled. The Prime Minister spoke at 2 Liberal events since then, barely really acknowledged what happened on Monday, and has yet to address it or face those questions. So that's something that a lot of people are waiting for. Doesn't look like we're going to get that opportunity today. The future of the Prime Minister is still very unclear. What we know today is that we're going to see some new faces make their way into cabinet. We're going to see things shuffled around.
All right. CTV's Jeremie Charron, thank you for that update.